So I'm sitting here thinking about how weird my relationship with Luna's friends has been from day one. Okay, so I met them all for the first time at a dinner party when Luna and I were still in the early stages of dating. There was Luca, her best friend from college, Indigo, who she'd met through work, and then these other guys who seemed like just co-workers or acquaintances. They were all friendly enough on paper, but as soon as they started talking to me, it felt like they had an agenda. I'm not even joking, I got this weird vibe that they didn't want me around Luna anymore. Like, I'd do something innocently, and one of them would swoop in with a snide comment or a raised eyebrow, making me feel like I was somehow betraying Luna's trust. It was always these tiny little things, but it added up to this sense that they were watching me, waiting for me to slip up so they could jump all over it. Luca was the one who seemed most invested in keeping me at arm's length. She'd do these passive-aggressive comments or sidestep our conversations whenever Luna and I talked about something important. Indigo, on the other hand, would just stare at me with this unnerving intensity, like he was trying to figure out what made me tick. And then there were the guys who just seemed to be happy to see Luna leave the table, their faces would light up when she got up to get another drink or use the bathroom. I tried to brush it off as jealousy, but the thing is, Luna didn't seem to notice anything out of the ordinary. She'd talk about her friends like they were these great people who had nothing on me. I started to feel like maybe I was just being paranoid, that I was overreacting to a bunch of harmless misunderstandings. But then there was this one conversation I had with Luca, where she basically told me that my presence made Luna uncomfortable. Okay, so that wasn't exactly reassuring, but it also seemed like she might be willing to listen to whatever my side of the story had to offer. We were talking about a group outing we'd all gone on together, supposedly just another casual hangout with no agenda in mind. I was pushing back against her accusations, saying that maybe I wasn't being as considerate as I should be, when she cut me off. I'm not gonna lie, it still stings to think about it now. And the more I thought about it, the more questions started popping into my head. Why were they all so opposed to me? What did I do wrong? Okay, so basically, I started digging around, researching their social media profiles, trying to see if there was any evidence of a deeper issue. But the thing is, by the time I started looking, it was like they'd covered their tracks pretty well. I'm not even joking when I say that I found some pretty interesting stuff, though. Like, there were these posts from Luca's old college days where she and Indigo had been really close, way too close, if you ask me. And then there were the rumors about Luca's complicated past with a certain ex-boyfriend. It was all starting to add up to this narrative of some kind of toxic dynamic between Luna's friends. But here's the thing, I still don't know for sure what's going on, and that's exactly what keeps me up at night. I spent hours poring over those posts and rumors, trying to piece together the puzzle of why Luna's friends had been so hostile towards me from day one. It was like they were united in this collective effort to make me feel unwelcome, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to it than just some petty high school drama. I started asking around, trying to gather more information from people who knew Luna and her friends back in college. But no matter how many times I brought it up, they'd change the subject or brush me off with a dismissive laugh. It was like they were hiding something, but what? And then, one night, I stumbled upon a video on Luca's old Facebook page that made my blood run cold. It was a clip from a party, and Luna and Indigo were laughing and dancing together, clearly drunk and carefree. But what really caught my eye was the person standing next to them, Luca's ex-boyfriend. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. This guy had a reputation for being manipulative and controlling, and now it seemed like he played right into Luna's hands. I couldn't believe that she had no idea what was going on, that she was still friends with someone who had so clearly hurt her in the past. I knew I had to talk to Luna about this, but a part of me was scared of how she'd react. What if she didn't want to listen? What if she just got defensive and shut me down again? But what if, on the other hand, this revelation could finally break through all the walls she'd built around herself? I decided to take a chance and text her that night, trying to keep my cool as I poured out everything I'd found. I was nervous about how she'd respond, but at least now we had a starting point for some real conversation. Hey, can we talk? I typed, my thumbs trembling on the screen. I know we haven't been getting along, but I think it's time we talked about what's really going on. There was no response from her, which only made me more anxious. Had she ignored my text? Was she still avoiding me? And then, just as I was starting to feel like maybe I'd overstepped again, my phone buzzed with a notification, a text message from an unknown number. Luna and Indigo are coming over tonight, it read. Don't bother showing up. My heart sank. It seemed like I'd stumbled into something much bigger than just high school drama. I stood in the dimly lit hallway, my eyes fixed on the door as it swung open to reveal Luna and Indigo standing side by side, their faces twisted with disdain. The air was thick with tension as they exchanged a glance before turning back to me. So, you're just now deciding to come clean about all this? Luna sneered, her voice dripping with venom. After weeks of pretending everything was fine. It's almost like you thought we wouldn't notice. I took a deep breath, trying to prepare myself for the worst. I didn't mean to hurt anyone, I began, but they cut me off. You didn't think? Indigo repeated, her voice rising. You were so caught up in our friend group that you ignored all the red flags. You saw us as nothing more than accessories to your relationship with Luna. My mind reeled as I realized what was happening. They weren't just upset, they were angry. And not at me. You see, it's not that we hated you, Luna said, her expression softening ever so slightly. It's just that, Luca and I had a past, something big. We were together before we met Indigo, but we broke up in high school. It was messy. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I had no idea, none at all. And then you came along, Luca continued, his eyes never leaving mine. You and Luna started dating, and somehow, our past got buried. You became a part of our friend group without knowing what we were dealing with. I looked at Indigo, who seemed to be watching me with a mix of emotions. Why didn't you say anything? I asked, feeling like I was finally understanding. Because we wanted it that way, Luna said, her voice barely above a whisper. We wanted to keep our past private, even from those close to us. But when Luca started acting strange, making decisions without consulting me, we knew something was wrong. I realized then that my relationship with Luna had been the catalyst for all of this. I'd unknowingly disrupted their carefully constructed facade. As the night wore on, we talked long into the darkness, discussing everything from our past to our present. It wasn't easy, but slowly, we began to unravel the tangled threads of our relationships. And now, as I stood there in the hallway, I couldn't help but wonder, had I finally found a way out of this complicated web? Or would my presence continue to disrupt lives that didn't want me around? I smiled wryly to myself, knowing it was only the beginning of a journey with Luna and Indigo by my side, or rather, trying to navigate the aftermath of their past.